Okay, so I'm going to record again. The last video turned off because it reached maximum, so this is part 2. So I'm going to try to get that video because it shows the guys training, and I guess some of them are so stressed out during the test that they don't get to pass. So not a lot of people were passing the test, so what they did is they did this like pre-test training thing where they subjected them through different types of trauma that they may be experiencing to kind of build up their resilience level. And it helped people pass the actual test. So I'm going to try to look for that video because they did it through simulated conditions. Anyways, of course you can't, it wouldn't really be right. Although they probably have ways of simulating war and preparing you for it, but there's really no way to actually be in that circumstance because your mind still knows this is simulated. I'm not really going to die. I may feel like it, but I'm not going to. So it's not really ethical to put someone in that circumstance where they have to pretend to be in those situations. So similarly to an ambulance paramedic that has the people tell the story immediately following the trauma, the same kind of thing can help a person experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder in relation to war, or actually in any, but in relation to war, that could be helpful, where you tell and retell the story. And I know for men, because us women, we like to talk, and I'm generalizing a lot. We like to talk. There's research that shows women speak more words in a day than a man. Some astronomical number difference too. And so men, it's hard to get men to talk. Plus, to get them to talk about their emotions is even harder. Pride is involved, and they're just not used to it. It's not something that they're used to doing, but it is very, very, very beneficial, and it will help people experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder to heal sooner than later. It may take time because that stuff is pretty intense stuff, but telling and retelling the story over and over and over again, it's a term or called flooding. A technique, there we go. A technique called flooding, where you talk about it so much that it's like it's flooding your mind, basically. So talk about it to as many people as you can. Write about it. Video log about it. Cry, in the privacy of your own, if you don't want to cry on video like me. Cry, get all those emotions out that you need to. Also, watch movies about it as much as you can bear, and then stop and then go again. If you're seeing a therapist, that's the best place to do everything in, because there is a chance that you will re-experience a lot of stuff in a very vivid way. I had a client that had PTSD from a domestic violence situation, and he would visually imagine people attacking him, even though it only happened like 1 or 2 times, and he was like 7 when it happened. And now he's like 14, and he's experiencing these like daydreams where when a man approaches him, he imagines that the worst, like they're going to hit me or they're going to attack me, so having a way to deal with those thoughts and those visions, daydreams, or what have you, you need a therapist to kind of talk those things through and kind of bring everything back into pieces with your mind. Now, God is a wonderful therapist, and He will listen and guide you if you have a relationship with Him. Only if you have a relationship with Him, because otherwise you're just not going to have a very interactive conversation. But if you have a therapist, then, go to that person, because when you do it by yourself, it can be very traumatizing. You could be re-traumatizing yourself because you're not trained to deal with that kind of stimulus. Your mind thinks it's still happening. It's designed to protect you. So it's not really like a bad thing. It's designed to protect you because it thinks, what if you're still in that situation? So it has to think worst case scenario to keep you protected. Unfortunately, fortunately, you're no longer in that situation. But unfortunately, it's like on and you can't turn it off. So I don't know what kind of therapy the person who got me to do this video has had, but I'm pretty sure I remember them saying it wasn't beneficial. So I would encourage you to continue to look for a therapist that you do well with, that you connect with, that you feel comfortable with in speaking to, and see them often, because the more often that you see them, the more you talk about it, the more it'll come out. And it's like you're rehearsing in a way, but you're rehearsing it back from this craziness to like this whole like controlled thought and controlled environment. Like, okay, that did happen, but now I'm here. And it's like you're retraining your brain. And God says that in the Bible, as a man thinketh, so is he. So he is. So God tells us to change our thoughts if we want to change our behavior. That's why I always say, like, the Bible is the most plagiarized book, because psychologists will use that all the time, but they make it sound like they invented it, but it's in the Bible. So I no longer have those feelings, thank God. I still, every once in a while, I'm very jumpy. My daughter, she'll just like walk up and not really announce herself, and I jump, or she'll go, and to me, it's like she's screaming. So I still have a little bit of it, but it's nowhere near like it was before. And I'm always like, you forget that I'm like jacked up. And she'll go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I forget. So don't feel bad if you have to remind people that you have these triggers, but at the same time, continually pray, and God will deliver you. And he's delivered me from a lot already. My pain levels, because I have like fibromyalgia, according to these people, which is another overstimulation of sensory. And I have like some injuries that cause pain, and so I'm in pain constantly all the time. But God has delivered me from the high levels of pain. He may not have delivered me from it completely, but he definitely has delivered me from an 8 level of pain to like a 4, on a daily. So that is my testimony. God is so good. He can free you from it completely. It's dependent on your faith. My faith, I can confess that it's not to the level where I can really truly believe that he would heal me all the way completely. But it's stronger now than it was before, when before I would be like, he's not even listening to me, But now I believe he's listening to me and does want to help me. So my faith is stronger. There's research after research after research that shows when people believe even in something that doesn't have any scientific evidence, that it'll work. So a sugar pill will work for pain relief when they think that that's what it's meant for. So being that we'll believe something small that has absolutely no power, how much more would we have results when we believe in God, who created us and designed us? That's like going to the manufacturer of something that created. They know what it's capable of doing, what it's not capable of doing. My time is running up, so I'm going to end this video, but please be encouraged. Please have people praying for you and your faith. I will definitely have you in my prayers. I have a heart for anybody that's going through those things. I know what it's like. It's not fun, and you don't want people to know. It's like this invisible disability, but it's very real. And people don't